video is going to be all about the setup of ThinkorSwim. So when you open ThinkorSwim, the setup is right up here in the top right corner. When you click it, click Application Settings, and this will be the settings for the entire application. So first is the General tab, and I'm just going to go over a few of these. Most of it is going to stay default, unless you want to really customize and dig in deep. But for the most part, it'll all be default. So account, this is just which accounts is going to be shown on your ThinkorSwim. Orders, the one that's important in this is auto send with shift click. This is a hotkey. If I hit apply, let's say that I want to buy HPR right now. If I click buy, it's going to create my order right here, and I'd have to hit confirm and send in order to send that order. But with the shift key, when I hold it, it says hotkey setup up here in the top right. As soon as I click this, it would send the order without bringing up that whole thing. It would just immediately send it. Same thing if I did it in the active trader. If I hold shift with the hotkey, now it would send the order immediately without bringing up the whole confirm window. Same thing up here if I did it in the trade tab. Anywhere that you hold shift and buy or sell, it will just send the order. So let's go back to the setup. Over here in positions, leave that as default. Active trader, default. System. The one that's important in this is the quote speed. You want to make sure that this is on real time, no delay. So that way it'll be all in real time. Another important one is these checks down here, auto save layout, and then when you exit ThinkorSwim, it will auto save the layout, and then it'll open back up the way that you had it. Security, this is where you can have the auto lock to lock out if you leave your computer on. Startup, this is where this is which screen will show up when you start up ThinkorSwim. You can have the home screen, last used, or whatever you want. The look and feel, this is where you can change it to be a light feel, so then everything would be white, or the old school. Font size, extra large, so then things are bigger. That is up to you here. So all this is the look and feel, and that is all up to you on your personal preference. Display, all this you can just leave as default unless you want to dig into that. Over here in the notifications tab, this is where you can actually put in your number so that you get a text when alerts are going off. Here's the alerts that you can check and say, I want to get an alert when I have a system login. I want an alert when an order fails. I just leave on alert as triggered. So that's when you create an actual alert in ThinkorSwim. I will get a text from ThinkorSwim telling me that that alert was triggered. You can also add an email right here if you would like to get an email about it when that alert goes off. Order defaults. They have this separated between stocks, options, futures, future options, and forex. In the stocks one, you have the order default. A limit order is the best to be on your default. Default stop type, and then the maximum quantity order. So you want to limit yourself from trading more than 2,000. You can have a limit so that you can never have an order higher than 2,000. And default quantity order, so this will be what it starts at. So I have my default at 200, so that is right here, and you'll see it right here too. That my default order is 200, and then the order quantity increment is 100. So every time I hit this plus, it's going to go up by 100. So it'll go 200, 300, 400, and same with this. If I hit the plus, it will go up in hundreds, and if I change that to 500, it'll go up in 500s. This little check mark right here, so it's the stock MPV rounding. This question mark actually explains it pretty well. Orders placed may be rejected if price is not equal to the minimum price increment. It's usually with the smaller stocks that if the increment isn't allowed to get filled, so sometimes it has to be an even number. And what this checkbox will do is if where you put your limit order is not allowed to be filled because that increment isn't allowed, then ThinkorSwim will automatically round the price to the nearest area that it can be filled at. So I leave that unchecked so that I don't get some kind of bad fill. Next is the hotkeys. Here you can set up the hotkeys to be whatever you want. Some of these important ones like zoom in, zoom out, buy the market, buy ask, buy bid. You can change them, so if I don't want the buy market to be F1, if I want it to be something different like F10, I can change it to that. And then you can also add shift. So if I hold shift F10, it will buy at the market, and it'll buy at whatever is entered into the quantity in any of these, which is normally the default. So it would be 200 right now for me. And if you want to learn your hotkeys, you can print out your hotkeys layout. And then the My Profile is just your profile on ThinkorSwim. So there you have it for the setup on ThinkorSwim. Let us know if you have any other questions. Thanks.